Most of my memories from early are about my older brother Larry, who is now deceased. We did a lot of things together, wrestled all the time. I remember one time we went to the railroad yard that wasn't far from our house, and we climbed up on top of a car that had the running board on top. They've taken them off since then to discourage that. But there was a train on the adjacent track that came by, and there was a car that's called a hopper car. It's like a box car with no top, and it had sand in it. And my brother Larry jumped from the car he was on to the other car, the moving car. And I was a little cowardly, and I waited, and I almost waited too long, because when I jumped, I almost hit the bulkhead of the car, and I would have been toast. I wouldn't be here maybe telling you about this now. That's just one of the foolish things we did together. My mother was from a family of 12, and my dad from a family of 13. So I didn't get to know my grandparents very well at any time in my life, because they were spread pretty thin. I probably had 80 to 100 first cousins, so I didn't get to know a lot of them well either. The ones we were closest to were the ones, 9 children that were the children of a couple, if I can tell you this now correctly. My dad's cousin married my mother's sister, and they were close to us. We'd visit them. They lived on a farm, and we enjoyed those visits. My dad was not an attentive father, so he didn't spend much time with us. The times we did spend with our father was when we worked for him. He drove a dump truck. He was a private contractor, and we would help him from time to time. I remember a few summers, my dad and his brother and some other helpers would cut sod, and we kids would get to crawl behind the sod cutter and roll up the sod. And then by and by we would load the sod on the trucks and take it to somebody who had bought it, and then we'd take the sod off and lay it. And that was one of my memories of working with my dad. There was other work that we did with my dad. I remember he would haul trash, and then they'd take it to the dump. My brother Larry and I would get up on what they called the awning to protect the cab from part of the dump frame. And when you dumped, you lifted it up with that awning on the top, and Larry and I would grab onto that, and my dad would dump, and he'd bring it down, and we'd get off. It was very, very much fun for us. I got a paper out when I was about 12, and didn't do much work with my dad after that. Had the paper out until I got into high school, and there were activities I wanted to be in, so then I quit the paper out. I recall the area where we lived. It was a lower middle class neighborhood, and I remember in the summer all the kids would get out in the street and they'd play kick the can and I draw the frying pan and goofy games like that. About the time I started high school, my brother and I, older brother Larry, would stay out late in the summer, and one night I got home before him, and there was a bowl of popcorn that my parents had made and left for us, and I ate some of the popcorn, and then I trimmed my fingernails into the bowl. When my brother Larry came home later, he ate the popcorn and discovered the clipped nails in the bottom. He thought they were my toenails, and I never told him anything different. That's the kind of tricks we played on each other. There was another one where I passed gas into a peanut butter jar, closed the lid tightly, and then offered to have my brother determine what that strange smell was in there. That was the kind of person I was. I was very cruel.